Welcome to Giant Radio, where we're all about big ideas in sales and marketing and eye-popping discussions with successful entrepreneurs. Turn up the volume and settle in. Now, here's the founder of Giant Jacks Media and your host, Paul Hitchcock.
Hi, everybody. This is Paul Hitchcock. I'm the founder and president of Giant Jacks Media, headquartered here in Orange County, California, near Disneyland. I help others to grow and nurture their businesses. And this is my channel, Giant TV, where I have amazing people doing great things. And certainly Laura Langehaug is one of them. Welcome, Laura.
Hi, Paul. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Absolutely. And obviously, you and I have gotten to know each other, and you are an executive coach facilitating a Vistage peer group in the Salt Lake City area. And I've been privileged to get to see what you're doing there and the great things that are happening. But I want you to describe it. And so let's jump in and just a little bit about your background, Laura, and then what you're doing now with your CEO group there.
Yeah, no, that'd be great. So, my background has really been working in startup companies all the way to billion-dollar companies, public, private, VC backed. And, one of the things I was leading on the human capital side. I don't know if I like that term, human capital management, but I'm going to use it because it kind of describes
Yeah,
the people side of things. And so, through that practice, I really started to do the coaching piece of it. And I was always really the right-hand person on the people front to boards as well as CEOs. And so when I was part of a Vistage group, and when Vistage approached me to lead and facilitate a peer group here in Salt Lake, it really seemed to make sense. I
yeah,
had a little bit imposter syndrome because I wasn't, to be honest, a CEO. However, I had worked with CEOs, I'd worked with
sure.
COOs and CFOs. So I was really leaning into that piece of it, and I really love it. I have 13 members. I have a few more slots open, but it's incredible. I have a space of diverse men and women, different backgrounds, educational backgrounds, revenue all the way from 3 million to 400 million.
Oh,
So it
yeah,
gives you
nice.
kind of like a perspective of the diversity and just like the experiences and the relationships that the group has really formed.
Yeah, and I've got to ask you, Laura, first of all, you're back. Were you always in the Salt Lake City area when you were working,
I
or yeah,
I
yeah.
wasn't. No, I was
Oh,
actually born and raised. Listen to this. I can't claim any area. I still have, my heart is still in Chicago. My folks
okay.
still live there. So that's really where I was born and raised, went to school. And then a company moved me out to San Francisco. So I lived in California for a little over 20 years, Northern Southern, started really my career on the HR side and the HR practice people side of it, and really grew from there. And I've worked all over the world. I've worked in the CHRO side in 23 different countries, lots of mergers, acquisitions.
Wow.
And then I moved out here to
Yeah.
here being the Park City area
Yep.
in Salt Lake City. And most of my practice is all the way from Payson, Utah to Ogden, Utah. So
Okay.
it's a wide range of business leaders throughout Utah.
So let's get into Vistage a bit. So you have a group of CEOs and you're meeting every month. What happens at that monthly meeting?
Yeah. Well, for starters, I think it's in the morning we really kind of break down kind of that check-in point where we all are, where we're showing up that day. And one of the things I get to tap into with Vistage is the amazing speaker panels that they have,
Yeah. Yeah.
experts who are leading, they've been CEOs, they're leading successful companies, and they're sharing their expertise all the way from, AI to longevity. And so we really spend the morning in a 2.5 hour working session, working on the business with an amazing speaker from Vistage. And like I said, that can various topics. We lean into what's important for the members. And then we really have a lunch. And then the remainder of the afternoon is executive session. And that executive session for members is focused on issue, opportunity processing, discussions. Right now, we're having a lot of discussions around AI and
Yeah,
how
of
we're
course.
bringing that into the business from, lead gen all the way to really kind of even the human capital side of it, right? And how we're
Yep.
leading through the people, but the customer piece of it. So it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, and so these CEOs are showing up, and are you finding that in that closed environment there, your meetings, that you're really getting into the trenches, that people are bringing up issue processing? I know you've talked about that before, bringing up, you know, challenges, opportunities, and everyone's vulnerable, and you're really getting into it. You see that happening?
Yeah, definitely, Paul. And that's a great point. So I think, my group is still a pretty young group. So, a little over a year, really, where we formed together, founding members. And so I think in the sense that we've really built over the last 6 months momentum around that, um, confidentiality, really leaning in. And if you want to use the word vulnerable, however, showing up. I mean, we talk about relationships, and relationships can vary, right? They can be personal, they can be family, they can be children, all the way to your leadership team, your board
Yeah.
members. And so, really have the opportunity to start really having some of those deep conversations. But I think what's been really amazing, Paul, is that now over these last 6 months of really leaning in, I'm seeing a lot of connective tissue, so to speak,
Yeah,
between
yeah,
members
yeah.
and accountability. So I have a few members, I have two tiger teams, meaning I have two teams outside of my group who are meeting.
Oh,
One
what,
on a
meeting with each other?
meeting with each other.
Oh, that's great.
So it's really kind of formulating relationships and business. One of my groups is really focused on acquisitions right now, and a couple of them are going through acquisitions, buying companies. And so they've really kind of formed that group outside of it. And the other is on the kind of for-profit, nonprofit, really working through how to kind of angle things kind of in this uncertain climate. So it's
Yep.
really been amazing to see the group inside the monthly meetings, but also outside of those meetings, what that looks like.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that because I think that is, powerful is when they start, your CEOs network and start helping each other. I've heard that so often about Vistage. And then you're doing one-to-ones with the CEOs on a monthly basis. Is that
That's
right?
right. Yeah. And I think the one-to-ones, I get to see the amazing individuals and how connected they all are.
Yeah.
And I've gotten to see this really kind of from day one because I think the one-to-ones really build the momentum. And that's, focus on business, relationships, health. Um, and so we really narrow in kind of on strategy, accountability,
Yep.
and those really help formulate some of the context of how I pair people too. Because when we do group meetings, we'll sometimes do a triad, and I will pair people based on what I know. It's obviously our one-on-ones are confidential, but I start to see some similarities in maybe some of the opportunities or the challenges, or maybe where someone's feeling stuck that really helps that piece of it as well.
Yeah, no, love it. And then who are you looking for to join the group? Because I know that's important. Obviously, there's non-competing industries
Yeah.
in your group. So what are the open seats now?
Yeah. So I've got a wide range as I was mentioning. I think areas that I'm really looking to fill in um, are certainly business leaders who are you know, revenue is varied because I have already shared. I'm kind of that 5 to 400 million. I've got men and women. I think the one thing that I'm really looking for is growth minded and ready to lean in and really be able to share. And so I think some of the areas, I've manufacturing right now. I have several CEOs of manufacturing, and manufacturing's broad, so I don't want to narrow that down, but I
Yeah.
think that's always complementary. I think technology is always a great piece to have. I've got two members who are on the technology side, different areas, SaaS and one's fintech. The other area that I think would be really great is the legal piece of it. legal, financial. I think those always add some different perspectives around the table as we have some deeper discussions in some of the various areas that we do in the executive session.
No, that's great. Well, I love it. And I want to tell anybody watching this, wherever you're watching this, because we simulcast this, we're putting Laura's information around it. And Laura, I imagine you're open to having a discussion with somebody just to get acquainted and see, learn about each other on Zoom or is that something that you would do?
Yeah, that's right. I think, it's just really figuring out if there is certainly a mutual fit for the group,
Yeah,
but it's so amazing. And I know you know this, Paul, like just meeting people and learning about
awesome.
businesses are
Great.
so fascinating,
Yeah,
right?
for
It's
sure. For
never
sure.
just a manufacturing company. It's never just a legal firm. There's so much complexity in running businesses for leaders. So I'm always like happy to learn because I think the whole connection thing is an important piece, right? There's other groups out there, there's other CEOs, and so it's really determining that connection piece, which is so important.
Yeah, and I know I always tell people, I said, hey, you're doing a lot in the area. You're a good person to know, and it's going to be beneficial for anybody to know you and you to know them. That's what we do. So fantastic. Thank you. I know we'll be talking again, but I appreciate you being here, Laura.
Thanks, Paul. Appreciate the time. Thank you.
Okay. All right.